Recently, my most popular video was taken down by a certain someone or something. Aww. That video covered how to FDM print vehicles for wargaming, especially for popular games like Warhammer. So instead of getting salty about it, I'm just gonna make another video. But this time, we're going to print some vehicles that were designed by very talented third-party sculptors. In this video, I'm going to show you how I 3D print vehicles for tabletop wargaming, all on my FDM printer, the Bamboo A1 Mini. Without going into too much detail, I guess James didn't like my video showing how easy and cheap FDM vehicles can be. That's okay. I don't want to print boring vehicles anyways. I want to print cool vehicles. You know, stuff with crazy unnecessary detail. Kind of like models designed for resin printers, right? Well, today, I'm going to be printing these designed for resin files with a regular old FDM printer, just to show how cheap and easy it really is. And I understand the quality won't be the same as a resin printer, but that doesn't really matter as much to me, just as long as I have a cool vehicle and for cheap, and anything to get James off my back. All right, let's go over the files I'll be using today. I'm going to print two different vehicles that are basically armored personnel carriers. The first vehicle is the Plague Transporter, designed by Wild Mesh. This nasty little car is perfect for scooting around my bubonic boys. The second vehicle is the Skull Claimer APC, designed by BattleCatGrimWars. This angry old car is my main choice for transporting those pissed off Marines. Both these files were donated for today's video. Big shout out to these designers. Both Wild Mesh and BattleCatGrimWars make some amazing sculpts that proxy for some popular factions. Please go check out their store pages. Links are down in the video description. Both these designers also offer monthly release subscriptions via Patreon and Tribes, with big store discounts being offered to their monthly subscribers. Check them out. Real quick, let's go over the settings. All the printing you'll see in today's video was done using a 0.2mm nozzle. We're using Bamboo Slicer's default 0.1 layer height preset, but we're going to make some changes to the support settings. For easier to remove supports, I'm going to plug these settings in. These are the same support settings I showcased in previous videos. It's nothing new. This just removes the support overkill the slicer typically does and makes them easier to remove. The filament I'm using today is eSun PLA Plus Gray. This filament is by far my favorite for printing miniatures. So if you'd like to get your hands on it, why not use my affiliate link down below? Or don't. Either way, it's still cool to me.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Alright, that's enough yapping. Let's get printing. First up, we have the Stinky Plague Transport, designed by Wild Mesh.
Shout out, Wild Mesh!
This nasty little sucker is covered in spikes, chains, and questionable substances. It's perfect for everyone's favorite plague faction. It's got 9 separate parts we'll be printing, and after slicing everything, we're looking at a total print time of almost 27 hours. The material usage is about 118 grams, putting us at a material cost of roughly $2. After a quick power usage estimation, based off my findings in a previous video, check it out, this print project cost me roughly 33 cents in power. That's a total complete cost of $2.34. Once printing is done, we're good to remove all the supports with our clipper tool and start assembling the parts with our glue. Once we put the missile cherry on top, our Plague Transport is complete. This little dude is looking nice and stinky, ready to carry some diseased Marines. Alright, now let's print up that second vehicle, the Skull Claimer APC. This bad boy was designed by BattleCatGrimWars.
Shout out, BattleCatGrimWars!
It's covered in skulls and some angry rune symbols. So you know some angry Marines are hyped for this transport. Once loaded up, we have 13 separate parts we'll be printing. After slicing all the print beds, we have a total print time of 20 hours. The material usage is about 106 grams, with a material cost of $1.80. After another quick power estimate, this print project cost me an estimated 25 cents in power. That's a total complete cost of $2.05. Once we're done printing and removing supports, we're good to start gluing this sucker together. Wow, look at that. We have an angry troop transport covered in skulls. You know, skulls for the skull car. Now that the vehicles are fully assembled, we're ready to start painting. Now, this is by no means a painting guide. I'm just showing you how I quickly paint these little dudes and what paints I use in the process. So let's paint the Plague Transport first. We're gonna prime it with a matte clamshell spray. Then we're good to base coat with Citadel's Death Guard Green. I started the tedious process of the first base coat when I remembered I have an airbrush, and I don't have to subject myself to the slow brush any longer. So I fired up this Gaahleri airbrush. It was my first time using it, but in no time I had it dialed in, and it really sped up my base coat process. Once done with the airbrush, I'm able to quickly touch up some areas with the brush. Back to the slow brush. Then we're using Balthasar Gold on all the spikes and armor trim. This color is my favorite for Chaos Metal trim, especially for the Death Guard. Then we're using a mix of Lead Belcher and Speed Paint's Broadsword Silver for all the iron metal areas. The speed paint applies super easily and really speeds up this process. I guess that's why it's called speed paint? I don't know. After the main paints are done, we're gonna use some miscellaneous paints for all the small areas. In my opinion, for Death Guard painting, this is where the fun begins. We get to paint all the nasty green slime and rotting areas on this vehicle, and you can get pretty creative with it. Then we're gonna add some washes throughout. We're mainly using Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil. We're just using these washes to add more grime and depth to the model. Want to know the best part about painting Death Guard? Any little mistake you make can easily be covered up with slime. That's right, slime. That's why I'm using Citadel's Nurgle's Rot to add some slime buildup throughout the model. No touch-up is needed for Death Guard, cause we just slime it away. Boom! We are complete with our nasty plague transporter, ready for the tabletop in all of its disgusting glory. Now that this vehicle is completed, let's move on to painting the old skull car. First up, we're priming this sucker matte black. And instead of doing the first base coat with the brush, we're gonna use the airbrush again. This time, I'm loading up some Slaughter Red speed paint. Now that the red base coat is done, we're moving on to the skulls. You know, for the skull car, I'm using a mix of Vallejo Bone White and Speed Paint's Pallid Bone, making sure not to clog any of the skull details up. Next, I'm using Broadsword Silver Speed Paint for all the iron trim and main metal portions. Then it's Talos Bronze for the ornate trim and fancy areas. To wrap this up, I'm using Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil for our main washes. Just making sure to really grime this little sucker up. Boom, we are complete with our angry Skullmobile. This little dude is ready to push up the tabletop and help some berserkers raise hell. Wow, look at these two vehicles just teeming with nasty chaos vibes. I love it. I had a blast printing and painting these models, and it really shows what these FDM printers are capable of when it comes to this hobby. I love how I can take a design for resin model and still get decent quality out of the final FDM print. Obviously, the quality between a resin and FDM print won't be as comparable, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with my results. And that's all that matters. Now, the ironic twist about me making a Death Guard and World Eater transport is I don't have either of these armies. In fact, I'm currently making a Black Legion Chaos Space Marine army, and I also have an Emperor's Children army on the back burner as well. So why did I just make these vehicles if I have no army for them yet? I love collecting all these Chaos factions, so having a printer really helps me do this without breaking the bank. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out my other FDM tabletop videos. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and join the Discord to be part of a growing print community. If you'd like to support this channel further, don't hesitate to click those affiliate links down below, and be sure to check out the channel merch. And if you made it to this part of the video, I greatly appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.